And it is 2023.
2023.
End of the 22 season.
It's finally come to a close.
Okay, Corey.
You might be wondering why I'm here on a Tuesday when last week I said I would not
please
be
give
here.
us all, because they thought, one, they were anticipating listening to just yours truly. Also, wait. The new music starts when we have a new season.
Yeah, sorry.
So we got to listen to Christmas for the next couple? Okay. Yeah. Little holiday box.
I really, in my mind, and in Heather's mind, thought I was leaving today.
I did not think. You thought I thought?
We both thought.
No, you just told me. You just said I'll be.
You helped me set the reservation.
You said I need a reservation for the first. I'll be gone the second. Okay. Yeah, whatever. You're flying this plane, Kevin.
On Saturday night, I was like, yeah, I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. Maybe go to the farmer's market. And then I realized, no, tomorrow you must make the journey to Ohio.
Okay, so Corey texts her ex-husband, I'll see you Tuesday. Not the bad one.
He was like, no, you won't.
So anyways, Corey did her 20-hour drive.
Can I make some observations about Ohio?
Be nice.
I was always going to be nice. Everyone in Ohio is extremely kind.
Huh.
If you went into a gas station, they were like, how are you doing?
Really?
Yeah. It was so, I'm not going to say the word bizarre, but here it's not that way.
Right.
They don't say hi to you.
No.
But I went to T-Mobile. They were so nice. We chit-chatted. The lady there makes chocolate-covered strawberries. Gave her my sugar cookie recipe.
Oh.
Yeah, I wrote it out for her.
If you're listening, hello.
Also, folks in Ohio don't need to get anywhere fast.
Okay.
They are driving the speed limit.
Okay.
One guy I said,
I should move to Ohio.
I said, here, this is my dude. We are gonna go. No, that was a trooper. That was a cop. He was the only one speeding. So I said that. What was the other thing in Ohio? Oh, it snows like no one's business.
It snowed while you're there.
No, it had just had apparently.
It snows. I didn't see a flake, but it snows all the time.
You know the piles they do?
Yeah.
They're giant piles.
Oh,
They said it was the worst snowstorm. They had a white Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Oh, that's great.
They said it was crazy.
Okay. Anyways, well, Corey's back. Welcome to the podcast. If you're new here, Corey, what can they expect other than the weather in Ohio?
Okay, weather with Corey and Heather. Never mind. What we try to do is we're actually a spinoff of a group called the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on Facebook. We cover everything marketing related, new trends, upcoming changes to the industry. And what this podcast is just an extension of that. If we see a hot topic in the group or we notice a change in social media that will help you, we bring it to the podcast so you can bake and listen at the same time and incorporate it in your business while you're incorporating your ingredients.
Ingredients?
Ah, darn. You can do incorporating icing.
Yeah.
You always say it in class.
Yeah. Okay, so we have some podcast polls, actually 2, because somebody had submitted one last week about Valentine's Day. So the question was, when do people most get Valentine's Day orders? The 3 options were my clients place orders last minute. They're calling me on February the 13th. The second option was, I have long lead times. My clients are all planners, headers. So they'll, and then the third option was a mixed bag. I've got early lovebirds and last minute ones as well.
I feel like that's going to be the highest one.
Yeah, it was by a long shot. So we had a total of 210 votes. 28% of people say 100, last minute. They're last minute.
Yeah.
Only 1% of voters said that long leads. So, and that leaves 71% a mixed bag. If you have posted your Valentine's Day stuff in December, you're wild.
I saw that. You guys were doing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect a lot of sales. I would suggest starting to post in January for sure. Kind of grow that audience.
As you see, like I walked to Target. They have cleared out the...
Target is celebrating Christmas 2023 already.
I know. They really are.
Yeah.
Halloween's already out.
Hobby Lobby's in 2024.
But I will say the Target dollar spot, they've cleared out all the Christmas stuff and have now put in a lot of pinks and reds.
Well, that's another thing to you Ohioans. Corey said your Targets are better.
Guys, you guys are sleeping on Targets up there.
Here's the thing. A lot of people come to the group and they'll be like, look at my Target. It has all this stuff. And we're like, what? I go to my Target. It's like tumbleweeds, maybe. An empty Starbucks cup in the dollar section. The Target Corey described in Ohio was glorious.
No one was in there. I even had to ask, like, are you guys closing right now? And she's like, no, we're open for 15 more hours. And I said, oh, well, I'm just going to take a little mosey.
You talked to somebody at Target talk to you?
You know what's weird? Their customer service. You know how they put customer service way in the back?
Yeah.
No, it was by the checkout.
Oh.
I almost thought she was like the overseer of that you check yourself out. No, she was customer service.
Wow.
I was like, oh,
And
but
customer service,
everyone's
they didn't have
nice in Ohio, so they were all saying hello.
Crazy.
So then I meandered. Heather's right. In our Targets, as soon as anything gets to 70% off, it is cleared out. There's nothing left.
Yeah, the dollar section you all speak of isn't the dollar section I have seen here.
No, there's nothing goes on clearance in our Target. It's gone before you get there.
Like they're right. They're putting up clear, and then it's cleared out.
Yeah, but this Target had all the Christmas stuff. Imagine Christmas candles that are still there at 70% off.
See, and that's what we don't get it. So you see people go get the Christmas bows. What Christmas? bows?
And someone's like, go get the discounted cookie cutters. This Target ours had 0. I found one in the pet department that someone had abandoned. But this one, and they had all their Valentine's Day stuff out. So they had the Target crates for Valentine's Day. So if you are by the Cleveland Airport Target, it's in there.
Honey. Okay.
Yeah, and they had like the baskets that I thought that were very cute. They had little
They have the
placemats.
mailboxes.
They did not have mailboxes, but
Interesting.
Walmart does.
Oh, it's Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, that's our podcast poll number 1, Valentine's Day. If you're in Ohio, lucky you can snag that stuff. But wait for the last minute orders. I would not suggest running to Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on January 3rd and saying, I haven't made any Valentine's Day sales yet with gifts, because it seems like because that holiday falls so in the middle of the month of February, if Wegmans has anything to say about it, most people are thinking about Valentine's Day 2 days before.
Can I say, in the Cookie College, we were talking about February classes, Valentine's Day classes,
Right.
and those are selling out already. It's a different audience.
Classes?
People who are taking classes versus
I
people
think
who are
the
buying
class
cookies.
people experience the sellout of Christmas classes, and we're like, not this time.
Yeah, so some people have already sold out.
But customs made gifts, I don't know. It's a mixed bag. That poll rings true. 71% of people thinking it's a mixed bag. The second podcast poll I ran this week is CookieCon. Now we are in 2023, where there will be 2 CookieCons.
Isn't the tickets going on January 11th?
Oh, wow.
For the first one.
Yeah. Well, they sell out quickly. But one thing I noticed, and not saying bank on this, is that the closer you get to the con itself, you start seeing a secondhand market of tickets when people realize, ooh, I wanted the ticket, but I can't actually go.
Yeah.
You can get a little bit of a deal. Also run a small risk of not getting any ticket.
I know.
Here is, though, the interesting feedback. Now, I think each CookieCon sells only 1,000 tickets.
Yes.
However, they sell out pretty quickly, and the whole experience itself ain't cheap.
No, it's $400 for a ticket. At least when we went, it was $400 a ticket just to go to the CookieCon. Then you had room and board. So a lot of people get a roommate.
to get there.
Yeah, to get there if
Then
you're
you gotta
driving
eat.
a car. Food, you have to do food. And then any classes and add-on classes.
So I'm thinking, what, $1,200 out the
That's
door?
if you do not go to the vendor hall.
You don't spend anything extra. And like you don't go to Disney World or Disneyland, whatever the one is on the East Coast. So here is the options, 4 options. Option 1, I'm going to go to Ohio. Option 2, I'm going to go to Florida. Option 3, I'm going to go to one of them. I just don't know which. And then option 4, I'm going to sit out this year, but have fun in my honor. I should have added an option 5, which was going to both. I didn't realize some people were actually going to go to both. It is so funny. The Ohio and Florida votes are split perfectly evenly at 16% and 16%. 4% of people do not know where they are going to go, and 64% of people are going to sit this one out. That's based off of 778 votes.
Wow.
Yeah, so that kind of fits, right? I felt like CookieCon is when we did some hand raising and when we taught
we did
a class.
ours, but granted that was like after
They had
COVID.
taken a long break.
Yeah, they had taken a long break.
So we had like, raise your hand if this is your, if you're new to baking and haven't decided to charge yet. And I'll say over 50% of people, right? Am I remembering correctly?
It looked like the whole room raised.
Right. So a lot of new bakers. Now I think CookieCon, maybe that one I feel like was more about like learning how to decorate. Now it looks like a 50-50 split between decorating techniques and business.
Yeah, it did.
Right? Doesn't it? Don't you feel like it's more business?
I feel for the core
Focused?
classes it was.
Right.
For this one.
And this one is like, because there's 2 this year.
yeah.
So depending if you're interested in CookieCon, you can go to cookiecon.net. We're not affiliated with them at all. I think it's a really cool event though. And you can see the lineups. The classes are actually different depending on which one you go to. The first one being in Ohio, Corey's favorite place. Yeah. And the second one being right outside Disney World Land,
Whichever one's in Florida.
Florida.
Yeah. I will say the T-Mobile lady in Cleveland loves the Kalahari Resort. She said that there is a adults only jacuzzi hot tub.
I went to, it was snowing outside.
Oh, you went
yeah.
to Kalahari?
Yeah. When I went to Camelback Mountain to snowboard.
Oh,
years
and then
ago.
she said there's a float up bar.
Yeah. And then you can float outside.
She said you can float
And it was
outside.
snowing.
She said you do a little, it's cold and you come right back in.
Yeah. I'm going to say it wasn't huge. And most of the water park is for kids. However, that was a neat little feature.
Yeah. So she was
was
like, we love it there. We go all the time.
Yeah. To be outside in a hot tub with a freezy beverage, whatever you call them, like a smoothie.
Frozy.
Yeah, frozy and 7-Eleven. And the snowflake trying to fight the humidity from the pool. It's a pretty neat experience. Yeah. But this will be in kind of spring, so I don't think you're going to get the snowflake.
They said it snows up there until March.
Oh, maybe.
Literally, I talked about everything under the sun.
You did. Corey likes going to film stores. I absolutely rather pass away prematurely. So, walking into what we wanted to talk about today, things we're leaving in 2022. Corey's bad attitude because she had one all day today. You're leaving it in 2022.
I really did.
You brought it 3 days in, so I'm going to need you to leave
I've
it.
been on the road for a long time, okay?
Okay, well, that's your own.
My kid is sick. I'm sick of my kid.
Just kidding. Okay, so the list we've come up with, the things we're leaving in 2022. Let's start off with burnout.
Yeah, we're leaving that in 2022, my folks.
Now, burnout, ring, ring, not those kind of car ones. Not Corey passing the
Not
coffee.
Heather getting her ticket.
I was listening to a book a while ago, and I was listening to the guy again on a different podcast. It's a book called 4,000 Weeks, because on average, the average human lives about 4,000 weeks. So it sounds small, right?
Yeah.
But also sounds
It's
like a
because
lot.
the 4 sounds low.
4,000. 400 weeks. But he brings up a great point. He said, humans love challenges. We actually thrive. Humans with no challenges, they don't do well. But humans with a challenge that matches the amount of time it takes to complete the challenge are the happiest humans.
Okay.
Now, when the time it takes to complete the challenge is less than the time we need, we actually find ourselves pretty miserable. He said that leads to overwhelm. And an overwhelmed human is a stressed one.
Yeah.
So what happens when we get around Christmas time is the leads are almost, dare I say, 5 to 8 times what we experience.
Greedy like the Grinch.
Right. And it's easy to say, yes, yes, yes. And then you see the money coming in and you're like, oh my goodness, this is great.
This feels great.
And then you get more questions. Do you want to take this? Yes, yes, yes. And then you've yesed yourself into absolute misery.
Because then you have to bake it all.
You have to, it's all-nighters, it's overtime, it's setting up classes, cleaning up piping, practice sheets if you have those. It is overwhelming.
Something breaks my heart when the new year comes around and I see on Instagram these bakers have an announcement. And I hold my breath and I was like, I have made mistakes, need to focus on my family. I don't know when I'm going to reopen, but I know that's 100% because of the Christmas season burnout. You have Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas really in a close amount of time.
I think you even kind of get a little hype in September. I feel
The
like
back
it
to school.
starts
Yeah,
there.
it really is where the ball gets rolling. But so many people say yes for 4 months straight. And then you're finally like,
Instead of saying no, you're saying, oh no. Yeah. And then you're taking kind of these big old breaks. And again, if it helps your mental state, take that break. But it is hard to market that way. It is hard to market really aggressively, make a ton of sales, then take a huge break, and then try to come back and start it all again. That is going to be an overwhelming.
What we want you to do is say no a few times more in those 4 months.
And maintain a consistent flow. Telling somebody, no, I don't want your money is hard, especially when you're marketing so that they want to give it to you.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're going in the opposite direction of making money when you're not making it. However, in a long-term marketing strategy, sustainability will go much farther than one solid Christmas of making it. Corey and I, proof in the pudding. 1 year, we said, let's just not say no. Let's see what happens. I don't have a lot going on.
We were
anyways.
so tired.
At the point where you look at somebody and you don't make sounds, like you're just grunting kind of.
Yeah.
Right. So that was that. And I can say that I haven't been that weary in a long time. I feel like I aged 5 years in one night.
I did.
Last year, this past Christmas, Corey and I said no to a lot of stuff.
We did. It's
quite more enjoyable.
And people were emailing for these classes and I'm like, Heather, and she's like, well, we said no.
We said, we promised ourselves last year we'd never do it again. And here we are with the question this year, are you going to do it again? Stay your ground. Make a list if you have to. Things I will say no to in December, this coming year.
Yeah.
And I like to write notes to my past self, to my future self, and be like, you said no, so don't look at me.
What's your notes? The one of you wrote to your future self?
2 classes in December. No,
No,
more.
like personal notes. I want to be nosy.
They're
One
just
personal
task
thing that
lists.
you said. Love yourself more.
No, it's like, go clean
Drink
up your
more
room.
water.
Oh, I do have a drink more water one. So yeah, I would say you got to kind of take a day to sit down and say what caused burnout in 2022 and then not do it.
Plus,
Don't fall
now
prey.
you kind
Don't-
of know what you can take on. If you took too much on, you know, like, okay, I said yes to 1,000 cookies. Maybe I need to drop that down to 600. Like I could do a 600 corporate order and that's about it. A lot of people, this happens every single year. So I'm not sure if we have to just learn this lesson to believe it. But people say, do not take custom orders on pre-sale weeks. So if you are doing pre-sales, you need to put your focus on that because there's a lot of moving parts. You have a lot of customers coming in. And if you want to take customs on that, that's just an added stressor that you don't need.
Customs require a lot more communication.
They do. There's a lot more detail in them,
Yeah.
I always feel. But
I've seen some things I thought did a good job in preventing overwhelm is people said, I'm not doing customs in December. I'm only doing classes.
And a lot of people did. And you know what? I said, good for them.
Yeah, that was a good one. Some people said, I'm not doing custom orders. I'm only doing corporate. So again, they're saying no. They're still saying yes. And they probably, likely, if they have their math done, have their margins built in there, but they're not being overwhelmed. You can make a lot of dollars in December, but if you are so burnt out that January, February, March, you're out the game,
Yeah.
it's going to end up costing you more than you made. And it's going to not look like that because you see your December sales, but you're not factoring in not only the loss of January, February, March sales, but the having to tell your market, hey, I'm open again.
Yeah.
And I may be closed again. And I may be open again. And that's going to cause customer confusion. And we know when customers are confused, they don't spend money.
So leave that in 2022. Don't bring it with you.
Leave it. Leave it with Corey's bad attitude.
I'm getting a good attitude.
Corey needs me to become a nice person. Corey says, let's leave this in 22 second guessing pricing.
Guys, the price of butter.
Eggs ain't second guessing.
Wait, Heather showed me this chart. Not even sure where she got it, but the
I got it
things that
from,
have
I think it was
increased-
CNBC or CNN
Oh.
news article.
Yeah, the things that have increased most in pricing, the top 3, 2 was butter and eggs.
The third one was airfare. Between the two of those. So the reason why eggs and the reprieve that this article provided is that if you can stay the course for the next 3 weeks, you could see like an evening out of the demand for eggs. It was because of the bird influenza that led to the extreme increase in prices of eggs. Yeah. Apparently, we talked about that in that last podcast where they had that fancy word.
Yes.
Populate.
No, depopulate.
So, second guessing your pricing. If you know the number you have to charge to make a profit, you can't second guess it.
Yeah.
There's no guessing. It's no. You
I
have
also
to
don't
charge
want
it.
you to second guess your pricing because you think you're not as talented as somebody else. Their talent has nothing to do with your business.
Also, we said that Panera cookies are delicious. They're not that talented, and they don't care. They will charge what they
I will
want.
buy one every
You know
single
what
time I'm in
Panera
there.
does better? Panera's like, okay, they may not be the prettiest, but they'll be the easiest to access. You can pay with your credit card. You can snag it right now and go eat it right there.
You get a Panera point if you buy it.
Yeah, you get a rewards point. You get an emailed receipt. If you have any issues, I'm sure they'll just comp it. Like Panera makes the accessibility to maybe their subpar design so easy that I don't care that it was $3. And if you buy a meal, it's like a 99-cent.
Yeah.
So they do even
still
add on.
doing that.
Somebody mentioned it.
They used to always do it because I'm like, why would I not buy a bakery item for 99 cents?
Absolutely, I do. So don't second guess your pricing. If Panera don't, you don't have to either.
Yeah, you need to focus on your business. You need to use cost calculators to really see what the price is. A lot of people come into the group and says, what should I be charging? We need to leave that in 2022.
Fortunately for you, being taught this week, tomorrow, is how to cost out your recipe. And if you're wondering, like, I would really like to leave not knowing in 2022, take this Facebook Live. She's going to use Google Sheets. No excuse, it's free. And she says that it translates perfectly to Excel for those of you who have Microsoft. And you can understand what your prices are. And then add 20% profit and you're good, buddy.
Yeah. Right now, a lot of you and me and everyone who's baking is eating into our profits because we have not accounted for the high cost of ingredients.
Eggs and butter.
Yeah. So the person who's going to lose
is
you. And if you are not priced correctly, it's pulling money right out of your pocket. You're working for free. And we're going to leave that in 2023. I had to rhyme it.
What?
I had to rhyme it. We're going to leave that not in 2023.
Okay.
Okay, go on, man.
What was it rhyming with?
3. I can't remember the word.
Okay. Under communication. I find that most of my problems with clients on my own side of things is just under communication. I communicated and the communication fell off, or I said it and I didn't think I need to remind them. Or a big thing I know my own guilt is that when I communicate with a client, they ask for more. It makes me think I'm never going to write you an email again, leading to further under communication.
Heather really can harbor an ill will when they do that.
It is a little bit of PTSD when I send these clients. I'd send them an email and they'd be like, Wally got your ear.
Yeah, Wally got your ear.
No, it's not in your contract. But to just get rid of them and that feeling of anxiety, which I shouldn't have done, I just did the thing which told them, hey, next time she emails, ask her
Give
for
her
more.
a to-do list.
She'll do it. So under communication leads to a lot of issues when it comes to expectations. Over communication may be slightly annoying. It takes a little bit more effort. However, it doesn't lead much to the imagination. That way you can say, here's your order. Here's what you can expect. Here's when you can expect it by. And if they have, hey, can I make a change tomorrow? Yes, you can. It will be this additional fee.
Yeah.
As long as you can protect your boundaries, over communication will actually probably clear out a lot of those issues that lead to that. Well, I thought, I was under the impression, I didn't know that.
A lot of the issues I saw in post in 2022, it came down to, what would you say in this situation? And I know the person who's posting was like, had a little bit in their heart that they didn't say the right words or didn't say enough. So they were coming to the group, what would you say in this situation? Here's what happened, but I didn't say this part. And if you can oversay those things, and I always say, do it in writing, do it in email. If you say it, there's no proof.
Yeah.
So if you can do it in writing, like, or if someone calls, we're not saying don't call, you can say, hey, I'm going to recap this in an email after. Please just check that over, make sure everything is confirmed, and send me back confirmation and we can go from there.
Right. Read receipts, email tracking. I know Square has View to Invoice. It's a great way to make sure everyone's working from the same set of rules. I saw an interesting post in the marketing group today. I had to lock it because the comment section went south faster than Corey leaving Ohio. But it came down to he said, or she said, really. And it was, someone said, well, did you take a photo of the completed set? That would clear up any.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I didn't. I mean, I can't go back in time, but I didn't. Again, when you get that rental car, take the photos of the four corners of the car. It is obnoxious, but what if you need it? Kind of that whole like, hey, I've covered my bases.
Yeah.
I worked in insurance and property restoration for a very long time, 8 years. Can you believe? But one thing, all the insurance, because I worked directly with insurance agents, they were like, yeah, every year, go through and record everything in your house. Stop by your TV and record the serial number.
Way better than going through those safe Snapchats and being like, I think I saw my TV in that one.
They said that's not what you want to do, is to look at the background. They said just take your phone. Everyone has a smartphone. Turn the video on and walk through your house and say, this is everything I have in my house on this date. Because like kind, like quality, that magic word gets things replaced. But oftentimes, they said, you'll be surprised nobody ever does this.
For sure. And I'm not saving boxes or receipts anymore in my life.
So yeah, just walk through your home and then upload it to Drive and just say, hey, hopefully I never need ya.
But here you are if I do.
Right. So in a way, that's a form of like covering your bases, and over communication, or just the right amount of communication, is the perfect way to make sure that we don't lead to these problems in 2023.
Yeah. Amen.
Analysis paralysis.
We're leaving that in 2022.
We are. 2023 is not. So, we talk about analysis paralysis in our menu offerings, but we can have analysis paralysis as a business owner.
For sure.
Yeah. So you see in the Facebook group, everyone's teaching classes. I want to teach classes. Everyone's doing DIY kits. Everyone's doing subscription boxes. Everyone's getting dough sheeters. Everyone's getting Eddies. Everyone's doing
right.
Yeah, everyone's doing everything. But if you keep chasing every idea somebody posts, you will end up getting nowhere fast. Corey and I call it, they're moving anywhere but forward. That sidestep feels like movement, however, it's no progress.
Yeah. So
you end up having all these amazing ideas, but because there's so much effort behind each idea, you end up doing none of them, or doing none of them well.
I always think of it like someone, those magicians who spin plates on rods.
It was a very specific visual.
I know, because I always feel like this business owners, they're spinning this plate, but then this one's going down. So they're spinning that plate, but nothing's happened. Like, they're just still on there.
They're not watching it. So analysis process, pick some goals. Pick one goal. Corey's just drinking Cokes like a madman.
I honestly, it's been like a life source.
Yeah. So pick a goal. Even if, like I tell Corey, I don't really like New Year's resolutions. I like pick a resolution a month, one goal a month, and say that's what I'm going to do. And if you say, okay, I want to teach a Valentine's Day class. Cool. Nothing else exists. No other plates are on sticks until you do the class. Yeah. And at the end of the year, you'll be able to say, here's 12 different things I did to completion versus here's 50 ideas I just had.
We saw that a lot. You see those a lot with this post. You know, I saw it where it said December 31st, 2022. And it was like, I didn't really accomplish anything, but nothing also went bad.
Hey, no news is good news. And yeah, that's absolutely a great thing to say. But if you want to make moves in 2023, just focus on a few of them. Mm-hmm. You do not have to do everything. In fact, I'd encourage you not to. It takes great business prowess in knowing what not to chase just as much as what to chase.
When I first started, if I saw someone offering something, I was like, I'm going to order that packaging and I'm going to do it too. Time is never there. Yeah. So I'd be like, wow, I got this packaging. Then I'm like, wow, how much packaging can one gal have?
But consider this. To just order packaging is very easy and kind of a dopamine high.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A dopaminergic high.
But when I don't use the packaging.
A double negative.
Oof.
So what happens when you got to kind of think of the whole purchase at the time of packaging. If I order this packaging, I'll have to order these cutters. If I order these cutters, I'll have to decorate. I'll have to photograph it. I'll have to package it, and then I'll have to market it. And then probably email marketing, following up and communication, set up an order form for it. If you're willing to take that on, do it.
Yeah.
But if every package you buy comes with that laundry list of tasks, maybe you'll buy fewer packages.
You will. Now all my DIY kits have the same boxes, the same shred, the same sprinkle holder, so I can always be moving through that same packaging. So if maybe I skip January DIY kits, I have it for February, but I'm not having to order like special heart-shaped things.
Corey did a good thing. She got these white boxes, I think on Amazon or something. And then you just put stickers on them for whatever holiday's closest, like dollar store stickers or something.
Yeah, that's what you can. I just theme them out, but they're always the same box.
Right. So now Corey doesn't feel like negative. Like we made that mistake. No offense to whoever sold the spider boxes, but you bought a pack of 1 billion.
First off,
they're everywhere. I keep finding them. So then we had these spider boxes. So unless Corey's got a kid with a Spider-Man birthday or it's Halloween.
Someone said, "Where are the Spider-Man boxes?"
I saw that whole thread, which made me reminded me.
What are you talking about? I only have a spider box.
These spider boxes. You ordered 100. You had to have ordered 100. They were huge. They were adorable. But again, to fill them,
it would take
so many cookies, so many icings. Even filling them with what our typical box
to make them
empty.
Look filled was redonk.
So instead, what we did is these just white boxes and add a spider sticker to the outside. Yeah. And it's just as cute. It's easier to store. And we don't have so much themed out packaging, which is so cute. It does make it cuter, I will say.
Themed packaging is fun, man.
But that analysis paralysis, I would say, you got to understand the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group. What our job is to produce content. What that can feel like is you're missing out on a lot of things because there's so much content. There's so many ideas. There's so many cute concepts you want to do. You're not supposed to do all of them. You're supposed to pick your top 2 maybe and execute all the way to completion.
If you see the reels on our TikTok and you're like, or on our Instagram and you're like, oh, I have to buy everything the twin. No, don't.
You'll go broke.
I watched some freebies one time and I'm just showcasing them.
Corey is reviewing anything because that's what content producers have to produce. If you watch the makeup influencers, I don't know why I say those videos as if I know how to draw an eye.
I don't either.
Cat eye. But I like to say them. But those people have to produce makeup content every day.
So we don't know what they're getting for free. We don't know what they're buying and throwing away.
We don't know what they love. We don't know what they hate. But to keep up with them, you'll never draw on your eye. You'll be too busy placing orders.
My school needs a lunchroom volunteer.
Leaving in 2022. Corey, bad attitudes. Go leave it.
We already did that.
No. We brought it back.
I think you said Corey's
bad attitudes about bad attitudes.
We're going to have good attitudes in 2023.
I'm reading a book called Wanting, which is the kind of psychological approach behind desire. The concept being you want to keep up with the Joneses or you don't want to keep up with the Joneses. I think I talked about this on the last podcast, but because you're near the Joneses. Cut out the Joneses and there's no keeping up or keeping away from. So the concept of the book is that who you surround yourself by is what you tend to start seeing. Even if you say, well, I'll never buy a Tesla because the Joneses bought one, all you'll see is all the Teslas you don't want to buy.
Exactly. And you'll be so focused on being the anti-Jones that you'll be something else.
You're very affected by the Joneses, even in your effort not to be. So if you surround yourself with negativity, it will breed more negativity, and you, by association, will have a negative outlook.
I will say, I had some kind of mood today. Not sure why.
It was outrageous. Corey complained in the parking lot of Olive Garden.
Heather for lunch.
You shouted a complaint at me.
Met Heather. What did I shout?
I got a vent about the group, I think you said.
Met Heather for lunch and gifted her my bad attitude. And now she's a rotten attitude.
I have a rotten attitude. So I had a great day until Corey showed up. Just by associating yourself with negativity, you'll start having the me against my clients type perspective, and it gets toxic.
What's crazy though, you might be like, well, I'm not venting about it anyway, but you can see a vent thread in a group and you can take that, it gives you a feeling of negativity because you associate with a time in your life you had the same thing happen to you. And you take that into your mind and it's sitting there and it's festering and you go throughout your day, and even though you're like, I'm not really negative, you can have a negative effect on things around you. You can see the glass half empty wherever you go.
And I'm not saying like it's all gumdrops and roses, but the rest of the book says that humans are naturally drawn towards a model, a person that kind of exhibits a behavior or a style that we like, and then we follow that whether we know it or not. He said, why do people wear ties? Well, because it looks nice. Who decided it looked nice? I don't know.
Mr. Tie.
Yeah, they found some guy and he started wearing ties and people thought they looked nice, and then we model that behavior. So if your models are pretty negative, even if you're like, well, I agree with them, well, you're going to have a negative outlook on client communications or a negative outlook on pickup days.
If you put a positive spin on things. Even that late customer, well, we had 50 on-time customers and one late one. Do you see where if you give the one late one the most power, you're going to have a negative outlook. If you say, thank God we had 50 of them on time, that 51st one's a little shaky. Then you're going to have a positive
much more positive. So, Matt, unfortunately, we don't want to rise to the lowest. We want to appreciate kind of the best experience. So leaving, I always say at the beginning of every cookie class, we always say like things you'll need in class today. And then I say, okay, is everyone in kindergarten? Because we're going to need you to have a good attitude. Because a good attitude is going to go a long way in making sure you have a fun time today. The people who have negative attitudes will breed, Corey and I even call it, like I give her this look and Corey looks at me and then we kind of glance over at this person who's causing a negative vibe in the classroom of these cookie classes.
And then I come swoop in next to them and really quiet them down. And I start whispering because they match my whispering. And then we're just whispering about it.
So kind of managing that. And now because when one person starts being really negative, it's going to bleed into, much like their icing, the people next to them. And that's going to be harder for us. It's easier to manage 1 out of 10 than 5 out of 10.
It is. So we know how to squander that. You need to get me and Heather have these eyes.
Having because we're born the same day.
Even like a facial twitch.
Give me it to me right now. Yeah. Her little pupil went a little bit bigger.
But if you can have that, if you can kind of read the room, if you're teaching classes to someone else is with you, if they're being a negative Nancy, poke them with a scribe or whatever.
One thing I've noticed, if somebody has a really bad attitude, to tell them, hey, you got a really great attitude.
You are just a social butterfly.
Right, like that. You're doing that really well. I'm really impressed. Everyone, can you give Amy a quick look? She's doing really great.
Heather loves to be like, Rachel's really, really doing. If you want to take a look at Rachel over here.
Do you know I write their names down?
Heather does so good. Detour. Class detour. Heather does really good about when someone comes in, she always asks for their name. Not because she thinks someone's randomly showing up to class, but so she can start memorizing it. And then what she'll do is through the class, she uses their names often. So then I'm like always listening for Heather, like, what's her name? Oh, Rachel. Let me help you here. But they love to hear their name. It makes them feel included. It brings them together.
Yeah. When you can bring in a name. I don't memorize them. I just write it weird.
Heather got one.
Oh, man.
I think her name was Erin, and Heather called her
Erica. Erica, right behind you, Aaron. That imaginary person that just walked in. So yeah, leaving bad attitudes, I can promise you, if you can really focus on a good attitude, and the way you can do that, and I've been practicing it, is mindfulness, taking a break, stepping away.
Guess what?
If it's 30
Apple
minutes,
Watch has asked you to take a mindful minute.
it's good because Andrew Huberman, future husband, if you know him, please introduce us. He says, if I could change one thing in the whole world, I would teach people how to calm down. Just really separate themselves from the issue at hand. Calm down, even if it's a minute or if it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Really is going to separate you from what you just thought was the world ending.
I will say,
Okay.
going up to Ohio and having where not one pet was looking at me, not one husband
Corey's
was
moving to
asking
Ohio,
what for
kids.
dinner, not one child is. I've never taken a trip by
But
myself.
you remember I told you I was going snowboarding, you're like by yourself.
Yeah, but now I'm like,
Absolutely.
go by yourself. If you have the opportunity to take a trip by
A
yourself.
lot of people like to do that for CookieCon. Like, screw you kids, I'm leaving.
I mean, to have a hotel room where you decide, one, the temperature.
Being on your phone and
Two,
not feeling guilty is a whole nother vibe.
And if I want the volume loud or off or up, if I want to take a shower with the door open, if I want to use all the towels, that was so. I thought I was going to be terrified driving up there by myself and be like bored and lonely. And I was like, there's not enough hours in this day.
Oh,
It's
really?
ending.
Would you go on these south trips again?
Yeah, but I think my husband would be very alarmed.
This is the second time this week. Okay, also leaving in 2022, Corey added this one, I'm not good enough.
Yes, guys.
This kind of sounds like
It does.
second guessing pricing.
Yeah, it's because I kind of lumped it in there. You are good enough. If someone has inquired about your cookies or your bakes, you're good enough.
So if Panera can say yes, so can I.
Sometimes it's okay to log off Instagram. Instagram For You page, Explorer page, all those things show you the best of the best, the things that get the most engagement. And what that can do to your psyche is have you second guessing your talents when that is not something you should be doing. Unless someone is like amazing at selling next to you, which if they have those amazing cookies that took 50 hours, they're not. They're selling a class to you. You don't need to be second guessing your talents. And I know it's so easy to let those things infiltrate your mind because I used to let them always get in my mind. But then you know what? I saved my first cookie to my photos on my phone and I made him a favorite. And when I start second guessing, I
Is
go
it the
back and look
Cloud
at
or the Bruce one? The one you named?
Bob.
Bob.
Bob the Blob. I go look back and I said, wow, what I just made is so much better than Bob the Blob.
Bob Bob was a vibe though.
Yeah, his mouth coming off the side of the cookie.
I feel that way, Bob.
His
Awesome.
eyes very, very wide.
Surprised and startled, but also understanding.
But a lot of times you'll hold yourself back because you second guess your own talents when no one else is second guessing them but you.
Yeah, so let's stack these together. You're going to be able to say no to things that are just outside of your plan. You're not going to deviate from the plan set by Calm You when Greedy You swoops in and say, well, if I say yes.
If
You're
it's
gonna
Jan 1, go to your December calendar and make your blackout dates.
Yeah. Second guessing pricing. We're not going to second guess our prices because we know what the prices are. Okay, great. Under communication, not today,
Not this year.
not this year, not yesterday, and not the day before, which is the first. But the day before that is okay. We're not going to do under communication. We're going to create templates. You can do that in Google, Gmail very easily. I use templates all the time. I write them when I want to over communicate, and then I never have to rewrite them. I just trigger them in Gmail for free. And then I can over communicate constantly. Just make some minor adjustments to date and pickup, and then I send that bad boy out. And rarely do people reply because it covered everything they needed to know. And then when people ask me questions, I reply and say, just to recap, just to confirm, just so we're on the same page.
Heather loves
Here's
to
what
do
to
that.
expect.
I'm almost like, well, Heather, why are you sending that? You're waking them up.
Yeah, like
But no, it's
PTSD. You're going to ask me for something I didn't want to do. Then we have analysis paralysis. We're not going to pick everything this year. We're going to pick a few things and charge for them. You're going to love the feeling of execution more than the sad feeling of not trying. I guarantee you, when you go to all the way to completion and you say, I did that, you're going to be like, I'm okay that I missed out on X, Y, and Z, and I did this instead. And then you're going to say, I'm going to have a good attitude about it because I'm not going to say yes to everything. I'm not going to second guess my pricing. I'm not going to under communicate. I'm not going to try to do everything at once, which is going to make a happier me. Yeah. And then you're going to say, and I'm good enough because look at all these things I've done this year that have really made it kind of easier to be good at what I want to do. I'm not going to compare Aware, which was another podcast we talked about. I'm not going to try to do everything. I'm not going to be everything to everyone. I will say no. But what I say yes to, I will do effectively, efficiently, priced correctly, and I will love the end result.
Love that.
You sounded like a CoverGirl commercial.
I'm gonna love the skin.
I can guarantee it. Men's Warehouse.
Miss that guy.
You gotta love the way you look. So that wraps up our leaving in 2022. Are you gonna leave your bad attitude
You know what? I already did. Left it at the beginning of the podcast.
at the Olive Garden?
No, I took it with me. I wanted to go back.
So we have a 2 texts I'm going to read aloud. If you don't-
She's gonna read them loud.
Oh, this is a great question. How do I get my mojo back after burning both ends of the candle during Q4? I feel burnt out and I'm questioning my future as a baker. This is from the 224.
224. I feel like that's a Cleveland number. Shout out to my Cleveland people. What I would say, if that is what you're feeling this lull in your business, a lot of people will actually in the new year do their wish list for the sets they want to make.
Illinois.
Who's kidding? So if you did a wish list, say if you wanted to do a certain theme, that's something that you can get excited about. So you have your
The
customers.
cookie wish lists are great.
Yeah,
ideas.
you can have what you do is people post like maybe 8 different themes that they really want to do. You're very passionate about it. You're like, oh, if someone would just order this theme, I'd be so happy. And maybe they'll give like a 10 to 15% discount to ask people, hey, if you would like to, schedule with me, you save money. Plus I would really like to do this theme. And that can kind of bring you out of the doldrums and get you more excited about the new year because those sets are coming up.
Not so money making involved, but more money spending involved. I love to hook a task to a treat. If I really hate doing something, oftentimes I'll just do it by the day. I'll say, let's go to lunch after that. If I can get through this thing I don't want to do, and at the end of something I do want to do, it makes the don't want to do a little bit easier. So you're talking about Q4. So Q1, can you plan yourself a little, whether it be a night hotel by yourself or a nice dinner out? Say, is there something after this thing I don't want to do that I can really want to do that will make that not wanting to do thing a little bit easier to trudge on through?
Yeah, I will say, to treat myself from the same little doldrums, I signed up for a Cutter of the Month club. It was $25 a month.
JH?
Been on JH Cookie Co. and I've enjoyed it. That whole New Year set came from her like 4 days before New Year's. I was like, hey, last minute, but let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, but then she already sent like a Valentine's Day set.
$25?
Yeah,
How many do you
$25.
get? Do you get the same amount of cookie cutters?
No, you always get one stencil that has to do with something in your set, and then there's minis, and then there's big guys. But she always themes them out, so you're not getting like an astronaut and like a sleigh for Christmas. You're getting something
Maybe
that's
that astronaut can slay in the moon.
he's slaying, slaying all the way up. But you can get kind of themed out. So she did Valentine's Day, the cutest back to school set. To me, there were so many cutters.
So you're getting a dopamine high from getting this? Is that
Absolutely
right? Good. So there's
then
a
I'm
treat.
also forcing myself to use them because
Okay.
I don't want that depression high, that double dopamine anti thing.
Yeah, so that's a great thing. I like. I mean, think about this. Okay, let's say Q4 is a little hefty.
It's
On a
hefty.
lot of us,
It is.
but it's also a big income earner. Can you treat yourself with an Eddie? Of course, you'll need to plan ahead. Of course, you need to plan ahead for that one. You don't want to just randomly spend $3,000, or maybe that Bosch mixer,
Airbrush.
something that you can treat yourself. Again, an expenditure. I understand that, or a dinner out, or a day to yourself.
Yeah.
But if I can attach task to treat.
Now, if you get a bakery tea kosher every month of the year. You
She has
finish
this
out that month.
hilarious one about butter.
It has the word butter in it,
Yeah.
but it's based by an actual butter graphic, so it says I have like a nice butt.
That's hilarious. So yeah, I think that burnout is real. It would be impossible for us to prescribe. Just work through it. Your brain can't. It doesn't want to.
No.
If you don't want to do something, hell or high water, you're not going to want to do it. So what is a great thing is to make some mental notes for yourself, or actually write them down because we don't tend to remember. the agony of Q4 until Q4 comes back again. But make a promise to yourself, I'm only going to do this. Here's what my December 2023 will look like. Sincerely, December 2022 me.
Yes.
And say, here, I'm only going to do these. Right now, you know exactly how many customs you can handle because you just did it. And if you did too many, you're going to be like, not that many. How many classes you can teach, how many pre-sales you can do, how many farmers markets you can do, how many holiday things. And make that list and say, this is it. Hey, past me, look at a future me, and I'm going to do you a solid. And we're not going to deviate from this plan because if you deviate from this plan, you will be miserable.
You will.
You will not do well in Q1, where it does require a lot more marketing. Q4, less marketing, a lot more sales.
Yeah.
Q1, different ball game. We are trying to get people to remember their significant others around Valentine's Day. Great question, though. And if you do need to schedule a few days off, by all means, just tell people you are booked.
Yeah, please do. We actually don't teach cookie classes in January.
Yeah, because we said it was miserable in December. And
Are we
we
teaching
just.
them in January?
No, you said skip it.
I have that class I just made.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
We're not doing it, man. Sell it as a DIY kit. Another text. Hey, twins, Happy New Year. This is Amy from Indiana, and I have a question about Facebook follower and engagement. My parents are in their 70s and very supportive of my business, which I love. But lately, I've been finding that a ton of their friends have been liking or commenting on my photos, but they aren't the ones who order. It seems like it's affecting my algorithm. I'm getting less likes, comments, etc. from my customers in my ideal buying range. Is there anything I can do to switch this over or hit more customers who actually purchase from me?
That is a great question. The great thing, first off, I'm so glad your parents support you that way because mine don't.
They do
Just
too.
only on Instagram.
Yeah, my mom is liking posts late at night.
Here's the thing. It's great that they're actually commenting. When your parents comment, what it's going to do is put that post in the feeds of their friends. And that's why you're seeing their friends commenting. It's fantastic, but then now your post is going to the friends of their friends.
So it feels biased towards...
It feels biased.
Skewed toward a demographic.
My post is being pulled towards California. It needs to be pulled
Safe to
towards
say,
Indiana.
though, if it's being pulled towards your parents and their friends, it's also being pulled towards your audience that already likes you. Now, if you say, okay, but I don't see like my audience growing, we may need to drive traffic in a different way. A community group would be a solid bet.
Yeah.
As long as you're not violating the rules, we don't want to get banned. But other ways you can do that is you can always run a Facebook ad. If you want to grow page likes, you can run ads to things like that.
Nextdoor is zip code specific. So if you wanted to grow your audience by posting on Nextdoor and directing them to like your Facebook page, that will help with your local audience as well.
I probably, and you can correct me if you disagree, I would not suggest banning mom and dad's friends.
No, because you need some engagement.
Yes.
When I see a post that has no engagement, I'm always like,
Leery.
but could that be because we're in marketing for so long? I don't know.
Marketing is a lie. Everything's manufactured and you can buy likes. Yeah. But for the average person, seeing a little bit of engagement breeds more engagement. The same way when you go to a restaurant and if it's empty, you don't want to be there.
Yeah, it's true.
But if there's a lot of people there, you're like, okay, I feel comfortable with strangers around me eating as well.
It's always got
Right. So having that engagement, it's called social proof, and it's more of a psychological thing, but it also relates to engagement, both in an algorithmic way, which that's, smarter than I'll ever be, but also in somebody else like this, so I'm going to like this too. That model behavior that we talked about before. If somebody else likes this, they must be good, so I'm going to like it because I don't want to be bad.
Yeah. Sometimes when I see comments, this is totally random, and it's like, oh, Shelly, I just remember when you were growing up and I watched you and the kids play. I was like, okay, you're not a target customer.
But you see it a lot because you got, I'm not sure, like Gams was like, Heather, she clicked on something. And she was like, it was some insanity, the clickbait title.
Yeah.
And she's acting like it is come from the Lord Almighty himself. And I was like, hey, where did you find this? Where did you find the article? And she was like, it was at the bottom of a news article. I said, did it say sponsored? She's like, yeah. But it's stuff I wanted to see. I said, because they know you want to see it, my guy.
So there's a baker who commented on one of my posts, being kind, like throwing me a bone, but it put it in their customer's newsfeed, and their customer was like, "Thank you so much, Shelly. I loved my cookies this year."
Yeah, I love the older generation. Jen and I went through the types of like boomers, millennials, Gen X. So Gen X is Aunt Deed, boomers, my mom and dad. Gams is a quiet generation.
They're called quiet generation.
Yeah, because they just got quiet and worked hard.
They're called quiet generation.
That's a quiet generation, yeah.
I need to remind her where her
She
generation
skipped
comes
right
from.
over that.
She's getting a little chatty.
And then you have the millennials, which is us, and summer's like on the crispy end of it, and then you have Gen Z, which is the children. Archer's Gen Z, bottom of it.
Are people mean to millennials? I feel like we're on the older end of it.
We are smack dab in the middle of it, and people say that we are dealing with boomer fallout, but don't want to work. That's what I said.
Right. Okay.
And they aren't wrong. But yeah, what was the question? What are we talking about?
Her parents are like her.
Oh yeah,
her
boomers. No, 70-year-old. Yeah, that'd be boomer at the end of the top of it.
That's the quieters.
Gams is 84, so I'm not sure.
I don't know. We're not lying.
But yeah, I would say all engagement, unless it's negative engagement, is pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, when things start going south, when the comment section going south, that becomes a mob mentality. Immediately hide, delete, ban. That'd be my first approach.
What you can really do to get your local audience is showcase local things. If you have like a local farmer's market, highlight that. Your local
it'll
audience
isolate the
is
broad
going
audience.
to be like, I know where Main Street is.
Something feels really good when I see a picture in an article I wasn't
Yeah.
looking up of something I know.
Like
I've been there.
Where I live, there's a Lake Ridge sign, and for some reason, that sign is
It's
like etched
iconic.
in everyone's memory.
Yeah. And so when people who live in an area see something they're very familiar with, they'll respond to it. And I think moms and pops as friends
So
probably
you can
won't.
kind of wake those folks back up. Mom and pops are probably gonna be like, "We have that sign
You know
here."
what we should try? I think it'd be an interesting idea. Like, guess where this is in your local area?
That's a good one.
Yeah, somebody in Lake Ridge on Old Bridge ran into the
Yeah, I
electrical
saw that.
box.
I knew where. And my
I
mind
knew
was
where-
like, "Where's that?
wait,
Where's
was
that?
it next to that pharmacy that has an
Yes.
abbreviation?
yes.
Try that on your.
They
I think it'd be
actually-
fun.
I
Not
should
running
try.
into
I'm
the
not gonna do
electrical box.
accident one. Yeah, but they actually had it fixed.
Yeah,
when
they
I passed by later that day, it
We
had it
are
fixed.
off our game. We are
Yeah,
talking about Lake Ridge,
sorry,
Old
my
Bridge
bad.
traffic. Oh, but do try that. Try to wake up the local. Corey and I were working with a client once, real estate, and we went to this restaurant that people around here love, but it's hard to get to. It's in Warrenton if you're from this area. Claire's at the Depot.
Yeah.
Cutest, quaintest.
Cutest. Great
most
food,
adorable.
great food.
And the lady who owns it, Claire, apparently is very well known in the area, but very hospitable. Like I think she
Yeah.
even came up to the table. We made her a cookie or something. But when we posted it to the real estate agents platform, people were like, "I love that restaurant.
And
Have
like,
you
oh
had the
my goodness,
crab
did you have
cakes?"
this?
Yeah.
You need to order that.
So that's a great way to relate with your direct audience. Why not completely punishing that kind of supportive but indirect audience? Because it is hard to get a like in this day and age, and I don't necessarily want to kind of nose spread a face.
What can I'm gonna take pictures of like little.
Do the
tiny
Lake Ridge
things.
sign.
That one's an easy one.
I
to
know,
do.
but
I'm
like do the
passing it.
gateway drug with the sign.
Okay, that one. You know, at that new bee playground place,
Yeah.
they have one of those talking a flower that you can talk into.
That's a good
like,
one.
Really get real
Obscure.
close to
That's
it.
obscure, but like, yeah, get me that. What else? We're talking about Lake Ridge. Can you do the gas station sign at the turn of 123 and Oak
How
Ridge?
about like the BP gas station for some reason has like shingles. Like you would. I've only
You're
ever
making
seen
this difficult, but this would be good. Like
because
a
they would
hemp
all
pet,
try to
yeah.
be crazy for that.
Okay, that's a solid one. Something from that Tackett's Mill.
Yeah, I knew. What did Tackett's?
Can you take a picture of the water feature of that too?
Is
too
there a
close.
water feature?
It's on the
yeah,
back
that would be
side.
an easy one to do.
Yeah, maybe too easy. If you're trying to make this like real strategic,
I don't know. It's how much engagement do you want? Do you want a lot of guesses or you want easy guesses where it's guessed once and people are like, oh, that's what it is?
I think you say this is going to get progressively harder.
I'll test it.
Yeah, let's see. That'd be a great
Okay,
test.
that's a good one.
It'd be funny because you always look like that. Okay, moving on to sponsors.
Sponsors. Number one, we have Royal Batch. Royal Batch is a meringue powder that I use and I absolutely love. It's from a company called Bakety Bake, and she actually is a cookier turned Royal Batch maker. But this meringue powder is awesome because it already includes 3 ingredients, which is white food coloring, so it already stirs up white. You don't have to add any. It already has corn syrup in there, which is fantastic, and it has vanilla extract. And it's a powder that it comes into, but she has made it where she dried it out. It's already in there, and you're ready to roll. Tastes amazing because you have the vanilla extract, but it whips it perfectly. I actually follow her recipe now, and it's so easy to do. It just includes a little bit of a whisk, which I thought was neat, made me feel scientific when I was whisking it. Before you whisk it to a froth, then you add your powdered sugar in, then you let it spin for about 3 minutes on low till you get stiff white peaks, and then you can add
Stiff
your
white
water.
peaks.
Water to it to your Fled consistency.
Yum. Delicious.
You
I'll
can
take 5.
save 10% on it by using code TWINS, TWINS, at checkout. But I absolutely love it. It's so good. So tasty.
Corey made us give up sugar, and then suddenly today she was like, "No, not today.
Listen,
you
and
can
you
have
know
a
what?
floating
That's
day."
That's why I have a bad attitude.
Well, we just ate 30 cookies
They
each,
weren't even
buddy.
that good.
I don't know. Yeah. So Corey's like, let's give up sugar, except for today, because I'm having a bad attitude. So today's a sugar day.
Okay for the sugar day, but did you want our sugar day to be on Saturday?
I thought it would be more of a celebratory. Hook a task to a tree, not on a Tuesday.
Waking up.
Apparently, it would put you on your butt. Next sponsor, thank you, sponsors, for keeping the podcast going. I'm sure this is all quality content that you were very happy to be associated with. AE Court backers. A lot of you guys got AE Court backers. I'm just tripping over my. AE Court backers for Christmas gifts and the Bundy Blondie of the day we shan't speak of. However, if you're thinking 2023 is going to be the year you leave bad photography in 2022, then you're going to want to check them out. It's all the kitchen remodel, and none of the kitchen remodel costs. These backdrops kind of bring out a new facade, like a tile background, or you can have the marble background, and it really makes your photography look crispy, crunchety, because you can have the backdrop match the vibe. So imagine you want clean, cute kitchen. Marble's going to be great. Imagine you want wood, warm fire. You're going to want some wood texture.
They have this red one that has been fantastic.
I think those are going to do
Valentine's
great
Day.
for spring.
Easter.
Poppy color.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be delicious.
You said the word shan't, but you almost made the N non-existent. So I have been did you?
This is a family.
No, I know. And that's why I'm
friendly
chastising you.
podcast.
Yeah, I got to go change the podcast rating.
Explicit. I have to check it off
Yeah,
every time
I
that this
know.
is not. And then, you can use code sugar cookie, singular, at checkout to save 20%.
Yeah. Noise.
AE Core backers.
No, I can't wait. And she said, if you read her email yesterday, she would like to extend another year with us.
We're leaving not AE Core backers in 2022. Thank goodness.
Last but not least is Eddie, the edible printer. He is a direct-to-food printer. I know that sounds technical, but he can actually print on icing. And it's not on icing sheets. It's on your cookies, on your buttercream. People are printing on cheese, chips, M&M's, Mentos. The list goes on and on.
I love me a Mento, man.
Put me a Mento with my face on it. I'm sold. But this is just the coolest thing to come to the baking world in general.
What if you took Mentos and you printed the face of very hot Hollywood stars and we called them Mentos?
What if we did their feet? Men's toes.
A whole new genre.
Arrogant.
Eddie, please call us for the licensing.
All right, but you can actually join the Edible Printers user group by typing in Eddie, the Edible Printer users group, and you can join their group.
Really? Is that how the search feature works?
Thank. But you can join and see what people are actually doing with Eddie. They are having a meetup, a meet and greet with classes in January, but over at their headquarters, which I think is Minnesota. Is it?
Maybe it's past Ohio.
Maybe it's Annapolis. I don't know. It's one of those.
Indiana.
It's not in DC.
Okay, what did your Twinterest?
My Twitter guys.
I think you should do Archer's.
Yeah, I was at T-Mobile when I said, "You got anything for kids?"
Because now, nobody wants to buy their kids a full-on smartphone. It is abysmal. I don't know.
Some people do buy their kids a phone. My kids.
Listen, as a not parent, I would like to cast judgment on people's kids. Yeah, you shouldn't buy your kids a phone. Come here, cat. Let me pet you.
Don't give them a tablet. No, I wanted my son to have a way to reach me, but I did want him to have access to the internet. We're not there yet. We have had some issues with the internet, so I said, "Is there a way to allow him to take a step towards that direction?" And they had the coolest thing. And I don't know if it's just T-Mobile that has it, but they have this promotion going on that if you get your extra line, the line for it's only $10 a month.
Because it's a watch. It's not a phone, but it's a smart dumb watch.
Yeah, it's a smart dumb watch for kids. So it's $10 a month. If you open a little new $10 a month line, you got the $200 watch for free.
Rare.
As long as you keep it.
Are we $10 because we're on Nate's first responder plan?
No, it's just any watch is a $10 thing.
So it has pretty cool. Me with no kids, I thought this was neat. She can allow it to shut down a lot of the features during school, but it can have an available amount of auto text.
Yeah, 15. I can choose if he's like, "Mom, what's for dinner?" or something like that.
From school, he doesn't need to know.
"Mom, I love you. Mom, I love you. Mom, I love you." You're the best. You're the best mom ever. When
I don't even like that. So sorry. But it can turn off all the fun features. It even takes photos.
It takes
and she can disable it from an app that disable the photo
this
feature.
app, I can give him daily tasks.
That's crazy. That seems like a little intrusive.
I know. It's a step counter.
It also tracks where he's at down to a very specific location.
I gave him his cat.
I mean, this is total like parent hovering. And if you and I had to wear these, I'd cry.
No, we'd love it if it took a photo
But
and
if
we
Mom
could
was
call
telling me
each
to
other.
wash the laundry
Yeah,
at
that was a little
school,
crazy. I haven't had any tasks, so I don't know how that
I
works.
want to have your phone. I want to add some tasks.
All right, but he can actually call me. You can have 10 designated people that they are allowed to call. So they
You
have
can add me.
Yeah, I can add you, and
He'll never
he'll send you a
call.
text message. It says fart or something. That's what I've gotten so far. In 10 emojis. But you can add 10 people to it. So I'm the guardian parent, and I can add, let's say, Aunt Heather.
Helicopter parent.
To it. If I want to, I can add Nate to it. I can take away people if I need to.
Dude.
You're
never-
And then if someone gets the phone number and calls them, like some rando from the internet, the call will not go through, which I think is great. So any of the 10 people can text them.
To be like, hey, cute girl at school, call me when my mom says you can.
Please ask my mom to add you to my list. She might have to boot my in-head. So I thought it was just super neat. They have like a voice changer.
That sounds really annoying.
Change it to a dolphin. So I have no idea what it said, but he can send those little sound bites because it's hard to text. You don't have a
Yeah,
keyboard.
I've tried to text from a watch while I was in the dentist chair, and the dentist like forgot about me, and I was like, hello.
Yeah, I know he spelled good G-U-D, so
you gotta
apparently it's
cut
hard to
your
locate those. But I thought it was just the neatest thing.
So is he going to wear it with
So
pride?
I said, listen, if it's not on your bod, I'm going to delete the thing. I'm not going to pay for you not to use it. So he's had it, but it tells me exactly how much percentage of battery. It's like Archer's at 10%, Archer's at 5%. Archer has charged his watch.
One day Archer will be 35 and in a therapist's office and he'll be like, yeah, my mom is just kind of a lot.
Love my mom. I love my
I was
mom.
only allowed to tell her I loved her from my smartwatch.
I thought it's really neat. And you can choose little photos so he can make his little profile have
I
a.
saw his Fuzz, the cat,
I know.
on a
so-
chair.
Yeah, and then I chose my own personal photo.
Oh.
I'm looking real good. And then it also dials. If he presses it once, it like turns it on. Twice, it calls me. 3 times, it's SOS, so it calls 911.
I just think that's just
I know. I
maybe
was like,
3
can
times
I
too
turn
few.
that off?
Yeah. What if he's calling 911?
Like, what if your arm bends and you touch that little side thing?
Yikers.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it. But right now,
It calls
very
out. I guess you could have to say the person, I'm so sorry, I've made a mistake.
neat. You think Archie's going to say, sorry, 911, I made a
Well,
mistake?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So
we'll have to talk to him
We'll
about
have
it.
to see.
I got a shock tea mat. I ordered it. I haven't gotten it yet. Okay, let me explain.
Okay.
Weird idea I had. A weird idea I stole from my older sister who influences a lot of my purchases because she buys everything. They are a company based out of India. You can even watch them making them. You can get some knockoffs on Amazon though. However, the Shakti original mat is a mat of pricklies made of plastic.
Little tiny pokey things.
And you lay on it. You lie on it. You lie on it for 20 minutes. Apparently, the first time you lie on it, they'll say you always
lied on
remember
it?
the first time. I
Have
haven't
you
gotten it
laid
yet.
on
I ordered it
Did
last
I say
night.
that right? Lied on it or laid on it?
It needs to have a noun. You can lie on your back. Yes.
Did you lay on your back? Did you lay on it yet? Did I say that right?
I'd have to think.
Have you lied it on it yet?
I have not received it yet. But they said, so again, back to calming down. You can do a lot of calming down if you just separate yourself for about 20 minutes, right? So if you lighted on this mat, apparently it's causing a lot of pain, but in the essence of that pain nerve transfer, it also causes relaxation if you can stomach it. And then you're supposed to kind of build up and, lie on it every day for 20 minutes.
So you need to load on it for 5 minutes, then
Light
10
it on
minutes.
it. Then look at it. But so here's my thought. I have those red light therapy face mask things. You're supposed to do that for 10 minutes. And then you're supposed to do a mindfulness app for 20. If I can couple these together, I will age backwards.
I feel like that's not what you're supposed to do.
What?
I feel like you need to give each one their time
No,
and
then
attention.
it'll take me 5 days to get it all
How can
done.
you be mindful when something's poking you? Is all I'm asking.
That is-
I know.
I will figure it out. And when I'm relaxed and you're not, because you brought your bad attitude into 2023 and my Shakti mat did not, you'll want to get one.
Since I didn't check the mailbag, was out of town, have an excuse. I want to talk about 3 things the iPhone's missing. And iPhone people, before you come to me,
I'll tell you this. I've seen iPhone people complaining that the return button, the line break button disappears on various apps.
Okay, the 4 things I would like to learn about. I have an iPhone now, but I've had a Samsung for an ungodly amount of time. And there are 4 things that the Apple is missing. And you Apple people don't know it because you've never jumped on the Samsung train.
You don't have the blur feature.
You do not have to blur. You don't. I had to download an extra app.
Okay.
The clipboard on the
Yeah,
Samsung.
you guys can't do multiple clipboards.
Clipboard on the Samsung can remember 20 things.
Do you know I can get my clipboard on the Samsung to remember what I copied on my computer and send it over?
That's fantastic. Apple barely remembers it for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I went to another app and I clicked paste, but it only said copy. So I had to go back.
Crapple.
Okay, but I want to say that if you knew if you could copy.
It changes your little world when you can go back into
because you
your
could go
clipboard.
to multiple. You don't understand how much I use that. Another thing.
Sound rather.
Yeah, because I had to go download another app. Whereas Samsung just remembered it on the keyboard.
Okay.
The third thing that is frustrating, Samsung, and not every Samsung phone has this swipe feature on the screen. If you just put your hand on the screen and swipe
I
it.
switched from using the hand swipe one to the down and up, the power and down button on the Samsung.
No, when I'm scrolling and I'm looking at a cookie cutter that I'm going to buy, I just swipe it.
What does it do on that one?
That does not do a darn thing.
People have looked at me. What are you doing to your phone? I'm screenshotting.
Yeah, screenshotting. So you could just swipe on the screen, your palm touching the screen swipes it, and it makes a screenshot. To do it on the Apple, you have to press the up volume and the power button. Do you know how often I accidentally push those two? Do you know how many screenshots of random TikTok videos I have?
Why
now?
are you pressing both?
No,
those
I'm
buttons
actually
at the
trying to
same
turn
time?
the screen off. But instead, I'm, and it's taking a screenshot.
Interesting. But what do you like? Give me 3 things you like about
The
your phone.
camera quality, oh
Yeah.
my soul.
Yeah, I gotta say, and Samsung, I've had you for years, but whatever lie we're selling people isn't true.
Yeah. What else it's super fast.
Okay.
It really, the
Yeah,
touch
Samsung
sensitive. I
is
know.
like, hey, don't have the window pop up. It feels faster, but it's not. You just disabled something.
So I really do like how fast the Apple is. The Apple has.
I don't think people call them apples. I think
What do we
call
call them?
them
Just
iPhones.
iPhones? I want to be popular. I just got an iPhone watch. What am I calling it?
An Apple Watch and iPhone. phone.
Apple Watch. Yeah, and really don't know how to use it, but I feel very cool. I did learn.
Do you know, okay, not that you go snowboarding, but they were saying in the snowboard and skiing groups, it has if you hit it real hard, it dials 911, thinking you've knocked yourself unconscious. So a lot of people were accidentally calling 911 on snowboards because they crashed and it feels violent, but they're not hurt because they're on snow. So people are like, disable that little
phone.
crash
I
feature.
dropped it, tried to kick it with my foot, which launched it across the room, and then it shook it and said, "Do you want to send this issue to Apple?" I said, no, that was just an accident, but I think it's a shake. I'm having an issue.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. If you
Send
shake
that,
that.
yeah. So
That's
I thought
pretty
that
neat.
was neat. What else do I like? I do like the phone, just in general, is very nice.
So do you ever see yourself switching back?
Not right now. If Samsung can't get a fasterness to their phones,
I try, man.
When you open Snapchat on there,
Oh, it's like watching somebody try to survive.
like whatever
A
cute
drowning
cat
incident.
I was trying to take a picture of is gone by the time Snapchat opens.
I can't. I will say that they say that I don't know if this is still true that the iPhone camera and Snapchat work well together. However, Snapchat on Samsung is like it's looking through a screen at your camera, and that's why it's so slow and pixelated.
Also, a negative thing about this iPhone, and it's just because I've only learned from Samsung. You know, when you're getting ready to spell a word wrong and you don't press the next key, it'll leave that word incorrectly spelled, so you can just send it. You know how I keep sending you random words?
You keep sending me weird,
If
funny
you click
words.
send, it will automatically try to fix that word for you and send it.
What?
Yeah, so if you
It'll
know,
go back and change?
no, when you click send, like you know, you can
Yeah,
misspell.
once you double tap the space bar, you've confirmed the misspelling word is the one I want.
No, that's why I always am sending you the wrong spelling.
Yeah.
It's like I try to send you the word feisty and it said like follow. I am follow. No, I'm feisty.
And then you came out good.
But I will say they have this charging thing. Don't you have remote like setting on top charging?
Yeah.
They have that for this. That's what this thing is right on the
Mag.
back. MagSafe.
Yeah.
Magnetic. Safe charging.
Oh.
Figured it out.
Ah.
I also learned on this watch, if I lose this watch and someone tries to input a passcode 10 times, the whole thing wipes.
And it's usable or it bricks?
Not a clue on that part.
Oh. Somebody's like, free watch.
Thanks. I didn't want a picture of a cat on there anyways.
I think it probably bricks it. Yeah, because I think that's what it does on your phone too. If you enter the thing in correctly, it'll
Really?
brick it.
I did have on this iPhone, if I were to be involved in an accident and incapacitated, all the ambulance people have to do is open the screen. And
leave her body there. Did you find her iPhone?
she's knocking down.
She's got a cat. Enter the password in 10 times. It'll be a fresh phone.
And when I text other cool people, our texts are blue.
Okay, never once in my
Yours is
life.
still great.
Yeah, I can see everyone. Okay, I'm saying this, and I'm not even trying to fight for Samsung, but I've never, like, when Samsung or Android people text me, it shows everything that they're typing, that they read it, that they're about to read it, that they're thinking about responding, and I've never once said, "Oh, you're green." Oh, nice,
I
you're
will
green.
say, coming from Samsung to Apple, when I see those dots just typing away in the little message part, I get a little anxious. I'm like, what could they possibly be saying right now?
I want to tell you that if I know that you can see that I'm typing back, I will specifically only read your text from the preview panel and swipe on it, so you never know that I checked it.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
For sure.
My privacy is private.
Another good thing about Samsung. Wow, I'm
Goodness.
talking myself back into it. When you take a photo from something, it automatically puts it in the correct folder on a Samsung. So if I export something from Adobe Lightroom, it'll put it in an Adobe Lightroom folder. iPhone people, let me know. Because right now it's putting everything together. And I'm having to fish through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just putting it all in the same old folder.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, though,
Goodness.
good thing about Apple, I'm sure Samsung probably does
You
it.
just switching. We don't even know what's going on.
I
now.
can add a photo of, well, probably won't work with you. I could add a photo with Nate, and I could be like, hey, Apple, this is my husband, Nate. Find all the photos with his mug in there.
You do that in Google Photos.
And it'll pull, yeah, but it's not on the same mug.
I know.
I'm back on the team
We gotta let these people go. They're probably like, whoa, I have lost interest 5 years ago. Goodbye, kids.